Is it possible for one of the largest automotive gatherings on this continent to be run by a bunch of amateurs? We'll find out this week on Motoring 2001.
TSN's Motoring 2001 is brought to you by Quaker State Motor Oils, formulated for the vehicles you drive and the way you drive them. And Midas. Keep a good thing going. Go Midas.
You know, this may not come as earth-shattering news, but buying a new car should be, but is not always a pleasant experience. And wouldn't it be nice to walk into a showroom, see all the new cars, get lots of information with no pressure to buy? Well, believe it or not, there is such a place, and that's where we are this week. We're at the Canadian Automotive Institute at Georgian College in Barrie, Ontario. And this is home to the largest outdoor auto show in North America. It's the first chance to see all the 2001 models, and it's all done in a sales-free environment. And it's also a great place to learn about a career in the automotive industry.
We have the largest outdoor auto show in North America going on right now. It's put on by the students of the Automotive Marketing Program, which is the Canadian Automotive Institute here at Georgian College. It's the only program of its kind in Canada, and what it does is it trains people to work in the industry, in the business side of the automotive industry.
Out of the car.
The greatest thing that I think is really unique about the show is it's entirely student run. We've got the support of the college and the industry, but we've got every single thing that's going on today is being run by students, from ourselves, the committee, all the way down to the product ambassadors that you're going to get your information from the car show today.
And the car care clinic is on.
It definitely is a very different format here. It's a sales-free environment. So, I mean, people are coming here and they're interested in getting information about a vehicle. No one's trying to sell you a car. It's fully supported by all the manufacturers. 15 years ago, we had 2 or 3 manufacturers. And it's gotten to the point where this year, we've got every manufacturer that's got a head office in Canada here today.
Well, this car show is a little different. At other venues across Canada, the manufacturer tends to run the show. We create it, we staff it, or we have dealer staff staff it. In this case, we work in cooperation with Georgian College, where the students of the automotive program help create the program, create the venue itself, and we basically supply the cars.
10 minutes.
Okay, today we're looking at the Chrysler 300M. This is one of Chrysler's thoroughbreds, new for 2001. They've added a few options, but still remaining is the high horsepower 3.5 liter engine. Well, my participation here, I'm involved with Team Chrysler. We're displaying a number of Chrysler's vehicles today. One of my many goals is hopefully to one day work for Chrysler or one of the big major manufacturers. I think it's a great opportunity for us young guys to come to a college to learn so much about the automotive industry and then have an opportunity to work with manufacturers of this caliber. There's no pressure here. Public's welcome. We enjoy their questions, difficult or easy. We're all here to learn. So.
We see the opportunity here. We have a lot of young customers coming up. We have young people who are going to be in the automobile business. If we can introduce them to the way a Honda and Acura do business, then perhaps we'll probably have some very good qualified people in the dealer network.
Georgian College, a lot of guys here, or you know what I'm getting at?
Yeah, there's a lot of guys. The girls are coming in round though. I can see the difference since last year, even in my year, where I'm the only Francophone person here, and now this year they're like 5 or 6. So you can see a change here happening, and which is very good because there's very good opportunities for us here.
I think this is a fantastic show. I had no idea that it was operated by the Georgian College, and looks like it's second to the Dome, the auto show in Toronto, in the Dome.
It's unparalleled to go into any other show, I'll tell you right now, in Canada. If you're in the market for a new car, you could come here and you could take out, you know, 4 or 5 different cars. You could get product information on them. You could take out an SUV on our 4x4 track, and you know, you could leave here by the end of the day, and you could even have, you know, all your product information is there. You've got your comparisons, and you're ready to head off to the dealership and haggle with the salesperson.
What's your name?
Jack, Holy Nickel.
Hey Jack, tell me something. When you grow up, what kind of car are you gonna buy?
I'll take that one. Right there.
Why do you like that one?
I like that one.
Blue cards. That's got to be a top 10 list. That's coming up later on Kenzie's Corner.
This is the all-new Corvette Z06, the fastest Vette ever produced. I'll tell you one thing before we start the test drive, it pushes the envelope in more than one direction.
The Z06 is based on and indeed replaces the hardtop model introduced for '99. This thing's a lighter and stiffer car aimed directly at we weekend warriors. Now it does this with a hot-rodded version of the standard 5.7-litre V8. It produces 385 horsepower at 4,800 RPM and a matching 385 pounds-feet of torque at just 4,400 RPM.
More power and the fact that this vehicle is about 40 pounds lighter than the rest of the Corvette family make this thing the fastest ever. At a tick over 4 seconds, it's a full half second than its stablemates. Top speed, it's a mind-numbing 275 kilometers an hour. Not that I'd ever try that, of course.
This modified motor gets new pistons, a higher compression ratio, a higher lift camshaft, and stronger valve springs that bring the red line up to 6,500 RPM. Now these and a few other tweaks make this one free-revving puppy. This massively torquey motor is linked up to a beefed-up clutch and a 6-speed manual gearbox with revised ratios. This brings much better acceleration.
You know, there are 2 annoyances with this Corvette. First of all, the manual transmission forces you from 1st to 4th gear if you don't stand on the gas pedal. Now, they do that for fuel economy reasons. The irony is that it's such an annoying trait that you end up dancing all over the gas pedal, and that destroys any fuel economy advantage. The second thing are these ugly headlights. Not only do they destroy the aerodynamic form, they're completely automatic. They go up and down whenever they feel like, and it really is aggravating. Why GM go to the expense of giving you a headlight switch beats me.
To make use of this additional power, the Z06 is equipped with its own FE4 fully independent suspension. This includes a larger front stabilizer bar, stiffer rear leaf springs, and revised camber settings. The additional negative camber allows the tyres to remain flatter on the road for improved grip. This sure paid dividends in the skid pad. The specially developed Goodyear Eagle F1 SC tyres add to the demeanour. These monsters, 265 40/17s up front and 295 35s in rear, produce prodigious grip and an audible early warning sign just as you're hitting the limit.
You know, as with every Corvette before it, this one is also a pain in the butt to get in and out of. However, once you're inside, it brings its own rewards and for much more than the obvious. With the seat set properly, this thing fits you like a glove, and I don't mean a gardening glove. You get all the comfort and convenience items you can shake a stick at, all of the controls are logically placed and laid out, and you get one of the best set of gauges offered in a car.
Just in case that's not enough, there's a new second-generation active handling system. This thing combines traction control with sensors that monitor the vehicle's behaviour and a computer programming that applies the brakes on individual wheels to adjust the car's attitude, helping you maintain control. Given the near 400 ponies, this device should be left active, at least if you value your life and licence. Stopping power comes from a 4-wheel disc brake setup that puts a very fast halt to the proceedings. The open-face wheels and large red calipers not only look the part, they act it well. 102 feet from 80k just about says it all.
You know, the Z06 is fast, fun and furious, all the right things. Indeed, it's probably the best thing GM's produced in a long time. It's also safe to say that American muscle is very much alive and well. It's also never looked and sounded any better.
It looks like a Mini from 100 yards. There's no arguing that fact. However, closer inspection tells a very different story.
Time to update our long-term Mazda Tribute. Mazda will admit it's a little late getting into the sport utility game, but the company has had time to study the competition and hopefully get it right. Well, like its new minivan, Mazda has once again done its homework. The new Tribute, like its sibling, the Ford Escape, is based on a unibody passenger car, did I hear 626, rather than a rear-drive pickup truck frame. So far, the ride has been great. Although a 2-liter Z-Tech 4-cylinder is standard, our test vehicle comes with a 3-liter 24-valve V6 with 200 horsepower, easily the engine of choice. We'll keep you up to date on life with the industry's newest small sport ute.
Our Midas tip of the week concerns tailgate cables. If you've got a late model domestic or imported pickup truck, you've probably got 2 of these little cables suspending all of your cargo load when you're loading and unloading your vehicle. You want to keep a close eye on these, and I'll tell you why. They make the tailgates on these trucks to remove easily for certain types of cargo. And what you do is tilt it up 45 degrees and disengage the right side first and then the left side and take the 2 tailgate cables off. Now, if you're driving around with a broken tailgate cable, the way this particular fellow was, the tailgate can disengage itself on bumps on the right side, and you can end up in a situation where the gate comes off and gets dragged behind the vehicle and the remaining good cable. We had a truck in the other day where this entire edge of the tailgate looked like somebody taking a body grinder to it. I couldn't figure it out, asked the guy, and he just described that exact scenario to me. The thing was swinging around behind his vehicle as he was driving. Obviously very unsafe, so you don't want that to happen to you. Now, if you ever spot those tailgate cables frayed, worn, rusty, or one broken like this, make sure that you replace them in pairs. They're $15 to $20 a piece, and usually in most cases, one tool required, a Torx number 40 bit, to get the one fastener off the tailgate. In many cases, you might even be able to do it yourself. Don't let a situation like this go unchecked, however. That's your Midas tip of the week.
Traditionally, the 911 Turbo has always been the premier performer in the Porsche model line, and then the 2001 Turbo is exactly the same. So it is our top dog, king of the hill, best of the best, if you like, the best performer, and it really casts a halo on all of the, a very positive halo on all of the Porsche cars in our model line.
Now, the last place you want to see one of these guys is in your rear view mirror because you know it's going to cost you. But hey, we're at the Georgian College Auto Show in Barrie, Ontario, and I know why I'm here. The question is, what's he doing here?
What you're seeing here today is a precision riding team going through the paces. It's a 30-minute performance of figure 8s and crisscrosses, and the motorcycles that we use are the Harley-Davidson Police Specials, and these are the machines that we use for everyday traffic patrol. So the motorcycle that you see behind you, coming up in your rearview mirror, hopefully not, but that is the same machine that we use to do our precision show. Called a police special, and the police package includes, of course, the lights, the lighting, and the siren, and for use for normal highway patrol. We get together once a year in the spring to rehearse, and in the summer and fall sessions we head out and visit different communities across the province of Ontario and do a precision show. I've been up to 180 kilometers per hour.
And feeling safe?
Feeling safe. They're well-tuned, well-oriented motorcycle. We're quite pleased with the way they perform.
Well, I know one guy on this program who loves motorcycles, and of course that's Bill Gardner. But I don't know if I can picture Bill with these guys as a precision rider. How about it, Bill?
No, you're absolutely right, Brad. I can't see me doing that either. I do love motorcycles, but probably the closest I'll get to the OPP Golden Helmets will be when they're chasing me for riding my off-road bike where I shouldn't. Let's just leave it at that. Anyhow, this week I want to talk about a problem that we see about once a month in our shop. Yesterday, a customer had his car in for some service, and at the end of the day when he came to pick it up, he asked us if we had time to do a quick oil change. I sent him around the block to get the oil hot. We drained it out, put it up on the hoist, looked at the grease fittings, etc., changed the filter. And when we got to the air filter, we noticed something had really gone wrong with this car in a previous servicing. And I want to show you how somebody's carelessness probably cost him 100,000 kilometers of lifespan on his engine. Now, it makes sense to inspect the air filter on a regular basis, and every oil change interval is probably a good time. Now, when we were changing the oil in this car, we took the lid off the air cleaner housing and pulled the filter out, and at first inspection it looks like just a seasoned, very dirty air filter. But on closer inspection, we look and see that when this filter is placed in the housing, it's not meeting the top of the lid. It's not touching the top of the lid. And the first clue to that is the fact that there's a lot of dust and dirt that's got downstream, on the downstream side of this air filter. You can see it all around the perimeter of this air cleaner housing. Now, because of the configuration of the air induction system on this car, the dirt is on the inside of this filter under normal circumstances. On this particular car, though, we noticed a lot on the outside as well. And when we take this used filter that was in the car when it came in and place it beside the correct one that fits this car, you can see there's an inch difference in the height. Now, the diameters are the same, but the height's considerably different. So the guy ran a number of months with this incorrect filter in, and a lot of dirty air entered his engine. Silicon dirt particles have got into the engine, worn his piston rings, and contaminated the oil. And that's a serious situation that's definitely going to shorten the life of his engine. Now, there's a few lessons we can learn from this incident. First of all, anytime you see evidence of dirt getting past an air filter, in other words, dust and dirt on the downstream side of the air filter, as I showed you on this car, you're looking for a defective filter, incorrect fit, maybe a torn filter or damaged. Something's gone wrong, and you've got to deal with it right away. Now, in this case, it was a pretty simple deal, an inch of height difference between the correct filter and the incorrect one. Something else you want to do is get that air cleaner housing out of there and clean all that dust and dirt that's got downstream of the filter out of there. You also want to change the engine oil and filter immediately, because there's going to be a lot of silicon dust particles that have got mixed in with the engine oil. And that dirt that's got past the incorrect air filter is going to wear, in particular, the cylinder walls and piston rings of your engine. It also contaminates the engine oil way ahead of its time. That's why you've got to change it immediately as well. But make sure that you get the correct filter. Now, in this car, there's no excuse for it going wrong. There's a decal right on the side of the housing here, as I showed you, that tells you the correct air filter. Another place you can get the correct air filter listing is often in the owner's manual of your car, or go to the dealer and have them look up the correct one. But whatever you do, don't take your old air filter and use it as a sample, because you'll just duplicate the problem over and over. Make sure you get the right one. That's one reason why I'm always particular about using OE air filters. You're less likely to go wrong. Now, for this guy's engine, I'm worried that he's probably taken 100,000 kilometers of wear out of that engine. This engine will definitely start consuming or burning oil way ahead of its time because of this incident. Who knows how long this incorrect filter was in there, but in any case, it certainly caused a lot of premature wear in his engine. You want to try and avoid that. Till next week, I'm Bill Gardner for Motoring 2001.
Now, if you need to haul a 6,000-pound trailer, if you got to drag your stink pot up some slippery boat ramp, if you're a hunting, shooting, fishing kind of dude that needs to drag dead fauna across a field, or maybe you really do have a horse farm in the country, then by all means, buy a sport utility vehicle. But for the 95% of you posers who never do anything more rugged than take your kids to school in the rain, here are my top 10 reasons for not buying a sport utility vehicle. And just like David Letterman, I got these on blue cards. Number 10, with today's gas prices, do you need 9 more reasons not to buy something that's lucky to get 15 miles to the gallon? Number 9, sport, 4,500 pounds of road-hugging weight, live axle suspension and body-on-frame construction that dates back to the Conestoga wagons, and a center of gravity at eyebrow level? Certainly not sport in any automotive sense of that word. Number 8, utility. My Jetta's got more trunk space than these things, more rear seat legroom too. Number 7, Can you say ride quality, boys and girls? I thought you could. I mean, I remember when your car rides like a truck was an insult. Number 6, alloy wheels, all-season tires, and leather upholstery in a vehicle supposed to go off-road? Hello? Number 5, brakes. Well, you can outbrake a super tanker. Number 4, you know those signs at airport luggage carousels that read, all luggage looks the same? And you're buying one of these things to express your individuality? Number 3, your friends will all think you're a dork. And if they don't think you're a dork, then they're dorks, and why would you want to hang out with them? Number 2, read the label on the sun visor. Now, the government makes SUV manufacturers put a picture of a truck tipping over at 45 degrees with the warning, and I quote, warning, higher rollover risk, avoid abrupt maneuvers and excessive speed, always buckle up, see owner's manual for further information. Good Lord, how much more information do you need? And for people who think that sitting up higher gives them a better view down the road, well, I always stand up in my canoe to get a better view down the river. And the number 1 top 10 reason for not buying a sport utility vehicle, remember last winter, the first vehicle into the guardrail during that first snowstorm? Guaranteed a sport utility vehicle, because the straight-ahead traction that four-wheel drive gives the drivers way too much confidence. When it comes time to turn or stop, boom, it's all over. So do us all a favor. Next time you're in a new car buying mood, buy a new car. I'm Jim Kenzie.
Well, love them or hate them, the sport utility market continues to grow. And if you're in the market for one and Jim Kenzie hasn't talked you out of it, the best place to test drive one would be here at the Canadian Automotive Institute's Auto Show. And you know, we go to a lot of auto shows in any given year, and believe me, this is second to none. And when these men and women graduate, you know the automotive industry will be the benefactor. That's it for now. We'll see you next time out as we continue to bring you more stories about cars and the people who drive them.
We can get out of this this course eventually, but for a real-world situation, such as being on a boat ramp or on a low-coefficient surface like snow or ice, the rear locking differential will lock and transfer the torque to the other wheel.
This four-wheel steering is unbelievable. It turns these big trucks into, it feels like a Honda Civic.
TSN's Motoring 2001 has been brought to you by Quaker State Motor Oils, formulated for the vehicles you drive and the way you drive them. And Midas, keep a good thing going. Go Midas.